Hello and welcome to Paper Play with Julie K. I'm here today designing for Kraft Supplies for You. And Kraft Supplies for You is an online store that sells laces and trims and flowers and appliques and bling and doilies and charms, along with a lot of other items. So you guys will have to definitely go check out the store to see what else she has. And I do believe flowers are still half off or 50% off this month, and that includes the paper flowers and the fabric flowers, which is a great deal. And I will leave both the Zibbit store and the .net store listed below in the description box with links so you guys can easily find them. I will also link the Facebook group for Kraft Supplies for You. If you are on Facebook, I recommend checking it out just for a lot of inspiration on how you can use your Kraft Supplies for You products to make beautiful projects. And I will also go ahead and link some of the design team members' channels below in the description box. So if you're curious to see what kind of projects they worked on this month, I highly recommend going and checking out their channels also. And so for today's project, I did decide to play with paper and laces and trims, which is one of my favorite things to play with. And I created a junk journal. And the paper collection that I use is from Stamperia called Old Lace. And the majority of the laces and trims in this journal are from Kraft Supplies for You. And there are a few snippets and pieces that were left over in my own personal stash of items that I did also throw in. And so I am going to get right into it. This journal does measure 6 across wide, and it's a little over 8.5 inches long. And my spine is about 2 1/4, so it is quite chunky. And then I did go ahead and add a tassel. I had already made this tassel before with laces and trims for my stash, but I did go ahead and add this little loopy flower, which is a Kraft Supply for You product. She does call these 3D flowers, and they do come in a wide variety of colors in the store. On the spine, I also use this beautiful lace, which is also Kraft Supplies for You. And let's see, here's those loopy flowers again, and I just went ahead and added some pearls in between. This little lace that you see right here, this sheer lace, is also Kraft Supplies for You. And what I ended up doing is cutting out this little bodice piece from the Stamperia paper line. And I cut off the bottom part of it right here, and I layered a whole bunch of laces and trims down here. The majority of these, again, are from Kraft Supplies for You. And then I edged it with this beautiful rose trim here from Kraft Supplies for You. And then you can see I did use the flat back pearl trim from Kraft Supplies for You right along here. This dainty lace, which is one of my favorite trims at Kraft Supplies for You. And then I also added some ribbon roses, and this champagne colored one is from Kraft Supplies for You. Again, this is one of the flowers that is 50% off, and this champagne color worked perfectly with this paper collection. And let's see, the only other thing that I did is add the loopy flower, some more of that trim up here, the rose trim, and I layered a little bit of trim behind it. I also cut out little holes in the paper collection so I could lace just this small ribbon that I had in my stash. And I did edge this with some pearls from my stash, and then this really beautiful Venice lace up here too is also Kraft Supplies for You. And the flat back trim is from Kraft Supplies for You also. So I did just use some seam binding and an eyelet closure to hold my journal together. If you do look at the sides, all these laces right here sticking out are Kraft Supplies for You that I edged. I do that a lot with my journals. I edge each signature section, the front and the back page, with some laces or trims. And so when you do open the journal up, this right here is just kind of a remnant that I created a little bobby pin, or kind of like a paper clip thing, but I chose to use bobby pins. And I just layered that on with some leftover pieces from my stash. So one of the the ribbon roses from Kraft Supplies for You. And then I just use a little, I think they call them garment pins, and added just some of the paper right here from the paper collection. I stamped the word love on it. And then of course, I do throughout the journal have pieces from the paper collection that I did edge with sewing. Some of them I did add flowers or trim to them. So that was the first page in the journal. Here, this is a Kraft Supplies for You trim, and I created a pocket out of it, and I just edged it with some remnant pieces from my stash. Again, just remnants. This little piece back here is a Kraft Supply for You. It's the one that I have on the sides, and I just had like 4 or 5 little pieces left, and so I just cut them up and put them on some of my little journal tags. And so on the back side there is spot to journal back there. This is a piece of the Venice lace from Kraft Supplies for You, and I just glued it down on some brown cardstock and made a little pocket out of it. All of my pages are tea-dyed, and then I did do some stamping and stenciling, and I did ink all my edges also. There's a pocket right here, another tag that I created. Here's a little stamped image just of a hand that I thought was kind of cute, of a glove. Here's some more of that beautiful Venice lace from Kraft Supplies for You. Again, like I said, there's just a lot of stamping and stenciling throughout the whole journal. Another tag, and I used another little remnant piece along with those pretty champagne flowers or ribbon roses from Kraft Supplies for You. Just some of the paper collection right there that I created a pocket and used some remnants from my stash to make it look pretty. Right here I didn't put stuff in all of my pockets. There is a tuck spot right here, and then of course you can stick something in here also. Some more of that pretty Venice trim from Kraft Supplies for You. In my middle signatures I just used some little flower remnants from some trim that I had in my stash to hide the ends of my string. Here's a belly band, so you could again stick a journal card or some writing behind there. Again, I didn't fill all my tuck spots for this. This is another little bobby pin paper clip type thing with some lace around the edges. Here is another little tuck spot right here. More stamping and stenciling. Here's another Kraft Supply for You, this sheer lace right here that I created a pocket. And then also flat back trim is from Kraft Supplies for You. And then I just left the back. Oh, this is also Kraft Supplies for You, the little trim on the bottom right there. And I can either go back if I want to add a little like square or rectangle die cut so I can journal, or maybe place a photo right there. But I can journal on this side, and these are graphic 45 tags. Another pocket that I created with some couple more tags. Again, all the flat back pearl trim is from Kraft Supplies for You. Another little snippet bobby pin that I created with another one of those little champagne flowers, ribbon roses on there, and I just layered it up with some remnants left over from my stash. And then I layered another one of those on this journal card here in the corner with another little ribbon rose. And here's that pretty ribbon trim from Kraft Supplies for You. Again, another lace trim from Kraft Supplies for You. This one and this one are both Kraft Supplies for You. And then this little applique piece right here, I did use some larger appliques that I cut apart in some of my past design team projects, and I just had this little remnant left, so I did go ahead and just glue it down there on the corner. And I added a little pearl in the middle. I'm not sure if that shows up or not on the camera very well. Another one of those little ribbon roses, and I just layered a ribbon behind it. And then some more of that flat back pearl trim. Here's a little pocket tuck spot, so this does flip up, so you can go ahead and journal in here as kind of a hidden spot to journal. I did put some more of that little Venice lace right here that I glued down. Here's part of the paper collection, so I did add some little remnant pieces. This is a Kraft Supplies for You trim down here at the bottom. Backside is plain, but it was light enough that I thought I could still journal on this with a dark pen, so I didn't line the backside of that. Another little pocket tuck spot. And this is a remnant from Kraft Supplies for You that I had left over this month. And then I just layered a Spellbinders die cut on the back. I did, again, sew around a lot of my edges on my journaling cards this time. Right here I have a tag, and again on this tag the flat back pearl trim is from Kraft Supplies for You, and I just had a whole bunch of leftover pieces from my stash that I used up here, and some eyelash trim. I made a couple small tags out of when you get the paper, it does have like a cover on it that says old lace, and so I did like punch out tags out of that. I didn't waste anything on this paper collection because it's so pretty. And then this is one of those Tim Holtz die cuts where you can stick little things in here, so I stuck all these little tags in here. Thought that was kind of fun. And then the big tag goes back there. Right here I just had a remnant left, and so you can just flip it up and journal behind that. And again, another little remnant left over from my stash. This right here is a belly band right here on the front of this little envelope thing, so you can stick something in here and journal on it. This pretty trim right here is also Kraft Supplies for You. Then in the bag, I just have another little journaling spot. And then this does flip over, so you can journal back here. And I can either go ahead and write and put another little journaling spot here or a photo. And then this also flips, so then I can journal back here too. So it's kind of like a double flip. There's the middle of the second signature. Here I just created a belly band with these two trims are for my stash, but this little trim right down here on the very edge, that was a remnant piece that I cut up from Kraft Supplies for You that I use in my past 2 design team projects, and I was just down to these 2 pieces right here. So I did stick a journal card in here. It's a double belly band, and then just a piece of paper here that you can journal on. And again, I just use my leftover scrap pieces to decorate some of the journaling spots. So here I did have this little butterfly applique in my collection. I think I got that from Kelly, who's Creative Curiosities here on YouTube, and so the brown colors matched well, so I did go ahead and add that. Some more flat back pearl trim from Kraft Supplies for You on that little tag. And then I had these little burlap flowers left over from way back when I did the one of the beach themed junk journals, and so I've been slowly trying to use those up. Here's another little bobby pin, and again I used a Kraft Supply for You remnant piece that I had left over from my last 2 projects, and added that with the flower there. And again, if I wanted to, I could hook a little journaling card under there, but again, I didn't fill all of my spots in the journal. Sometimes it's kind of fun to fill your journal up as you go, and you add photos and receipts and postcards and stuff like that. Some more stamping, stenciling. Here's another little bobby pin that I created, like a paper clip, and I just added some little remnants down there to hang off of it, and then the eyelash trim behind it. Oh, I think that looks really cute. Some more Kraft Supplies for You trim, both this one on the edge and this other kind of off-white cream one is from Kraft Supplies for You, and then also another little applique remnant from the other 2 design team projects that I did earlier this month. Little journaling card, and I just added some trim to that. This is one of my favorite belly bands in this journal. This is a Kraft Supply for You trim, which I love, and so I could stick a journaling card or, you know, piece of paper behind there. And then I had part of the paper collection, and then some more journaling paper behind there. So it's a double belly band. But I thought it turned out beautiful. I just love this trim. This is one of my favorite trims from Kraft Supplies for You. And I almost took this trim and put it down the spine right here, but this trim was so pretty and elegant that I left it as is. Again, that's Kraft Supplies for You trim. And so is this right here too, that you see sticking out right there. But I almost put this on my spine, but I ended up putting it inside the book instead. So another little journaling card and little remnant bobby pin paper clip that I created. Again, Kraft Supplies for You ribbon rose. This time I stamped the word hope on that page. And then here I have a little pocket. And you can purchase this trim at Kraft Supplies for You. So here you can stick that in there. Just a paper tuck spot with just a piece of remnant from my stash. Another graphic 45 tag. And then this is the Kraft Supplies for You little ribbon trim. I think that's so pretty. And I debated when I made this journal whether or not to tea dye some of the white trims that I had picked up from Kraft Supplies for You, but I do kind of like the contrast of the vintage paper, the tea dyed paper with some of the white sticking out, so I did leave them white. And then also right here along this side, this is that dainty trim also from Kraft Supplies for You. This is another one of my favorite trims. And I did use all of this up, so I don't have any more of that one left. So I'll probably be picking up some more of that because I do love that trim. So here's another belly band with some lace from my stash, and the little edging is from Kraft Supplies for You. I also ran out of this trim too while I was working on the journal, so I don't have any more of that left. So again, the trim at the bottom is Kraft Supplies for You on this journaling card. The flat back pearls trim is Kraft Supplies for You. And then you can buy these in little packs of 10, these little appliques with the little pearls hanging off of it. So I did add that there. I still have some more of these left. Some more stamping and stenciling, another pocket I created, and I just stuck a few more journaling cards in them. This one I did add a spot to write on because the paper was a little bit darker, but this I thought, again, if I had a dark pen, I should be able to write on the backs of those. But if not, I'll just go ahead and layer on some tea-dyed paper later on when I'm using the journal. This is also a Kraft Supply for You trim. It's really pretty, again, with the little flowers and little roses on that one. Some more stamping. Here is a bag, and so part of the paper collection, they did have an envelope in there, and what I ended up doing, instead of gluing it shut, I left it so you could actually open it up and journal on the inside right here. And then also add a picture or something on the back side of that. So I did stick that in that little envelope. And then there is a tuck spot behind the envelope too, but I didn't stick anything in there. Some more of that little dainty Venice trim from Kraft Supplies for You. Some more flowers in the middle of this last signature. More stamping. Here's another little paper clip that I used remnants from, and again, you can just stick a journaling card under there. Here's that same trim that I used on the spine. I had just this little piece here, so I did make another little belly band and stuck some more journaling cards inside of that belly band. Some more stamping, and then I created a little pocket here out of like a collar, a lace collar, which you can buy these at Kraft Supplies for You. Maybe not particularly this one, but similar ones. This one I did pick up at the thrift store, but I did use it to create a pocket. Another tag. Again, this is Kraft Supplies for You. Around the edges, that pretty trim. And we're almost done. So another little remnant bobby pin thing that I created. Paper clip. Again, this is Kraft Supplies for You. The little ribbon rose is Kraft Supplies for You. Some more of that white trim, which is gorgeous. Another little tuck spot that I created. Again, this came off of a collar piece that I had in my stash. And I just kind of glued it down on the bottoms just to create a nice tuck spot. And I stuck a couple journal cards in there. And again, that really pretty dainty lace trim right here on the edge. And then, of course, this other trim right here, too, which is Kraft Supplies for You. And I didn't do anything the last 2 pages because, again, I like to leave spots once in a while to put pictures and those kind of things. So I left those plain. And the back side, as usual, I usually leave plain too. I do have to add my signature yet to it. So this is my completed journal. Thank you everybody for watching. I truly appreciate it. And I really love how this journal turned out, and I especially love how well that the Kraft Supplies for You laces and trims coordinated so well with this paper collection. It is one of my favorite paper collections. And again, I will link Kraft Supplies for You information below in the description box so you guys can easily find Julie's shop. Again, she has a .net store and a Zibbit store. And again, I will link other design team members who are on YouTube. I will link their YouTube channels. So if you are looking for more inspiration on how to use your Kraft Supplies for You products, please go check out their channels also. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.